Hi, welcome back to Far From Eden. Hit that like button. I'm going to remind myself to tell you before I forget. And, simps, simpology, the study of simping. I've heard so many of you say that women don't like nice guys. They reject it. Don't be nice to women. You know, the negging thing where you say something sort of negative to her, almost like a diss, and then she's going to like you more. I think I can see that. But also, I know that stroking a woman's ego is important if you want to be near her. You see what I'm saying? So I think the pickup artists and everything, the whole idea is to get a balance between, complimenting her, making her feel like she's special and like you're so, impressed by her work or whatever. But also that you don't need her, that you're secure in yourself. And it's like, whatever. I think there's a balance there, but you absolutely cannot get a woman without making her feel a certain way. That's just true. And so simping is part of that whole game. Exhibit A, and there are more exhibits, but this is as old as time. And it doesn't make it better. Not a good thing.
Can we just abandon in general the idea that the word simp is a bad thing? Because I got news for you. Us ladies don't feel that way. The hottest thing that a guy can be is a simp for you. Simp doesn't mean weak. Simp doesn't mean that he's your little bitch. What it means is that he is so obsessed with you, enamored with you, would do anything for you because he cares and loves you so much. That's what a simp is. Anybody who told you, fellas, that we wouldn't want that is lying to you, because they're trying to keep all the hoes for themselves. If guys are telling each other, yeah, don't be a simp, bro. Why not? Because you don't.
Because you don't belong to her. Because what has she done to deserve all that treatment? That's why don't be a simp. Because it's beneath you, guys. It's beneath you. You shouldn't have to be that way. She doesn't realize how much she's revealing about her own character. For a man to be that way, it would make me so uncomfortable, because I would be like, goodness gracious, like how do you receive all that, attention and spoiling and stuff like that? I would be uncomfortable with it. And I'm very judgmental with these women that they're not also. That they would think for 1 second they deserved all that. That they would think that they deserve to be treated like some kind of princess. That they think that they should be worshipped.
Want your girl to feel loved and appreciated, secure. Sounds like a him problem. So dudes, simple way. We freaking love it. Can we just abandon in general the idea that the word simp is a bad thing?
Yeah.
I'm looking to date a simp. You heard me right. The word simp has changed in the past couple years. This definition doesn't even apply. Simp is a man who is desperate for attention and affection. That's not really how it's used anymore. Nowadays, any type of gentlemanly behavior is simping. A man buys his wife flowers. A loser on the internet calls him a simp. A man pays.
They changed the definition because it wasn't working anymore and they weren't able to use you as much anymore. So now we're going to change it and be like, no, you're a gentleman and we love it and keep doing it. It's beneath you guys. It's beneath you. These women.
pays for a first date, a bunch of losers call him a simp. I think we should change the definition of a simp to just a gentleman and a man who still believes in romance and treating women right. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm looking to date a simp.
Guess what I'm trying to say is nothing. Guess what I'm trying to say is I want to be worshipped. That's what they're saying. And you know who was ahead of her time with all of this stuff? Esther Vilar. She wrote The Manipulated Man. And I recognize simping in here. I perused quickly. I haven't read it yet because we're reading it together, but I perused and I was like, oh, this is that men are simping for women, doing all these things, falling all over themselves to serve women, getting nothing in return, least of all gratitude. This is chapter 3. We did 1 and 2 yesterday. This is what is woman. Not like the question that they asked today. This is actually woman. A woman, as we have already said, is in contrast to a man, a human being who does not work. One might leave it at that, for there isn't much more to say about her. Or the basic concept of human being, not so general and inexact in embracing both man and woman. Man, I bet they were telling her about Esther Vilar about her internalized misogyny. But you can be disgusted with your own sex, your own gender, disgusted at the way we behave. It doesn't mean we hate women. It means we don't like the way what we see in our behavior in general. And it's taking advantage of men in huge numbers. And you just saw in those videos of those women, they're like, yes, keep it coming. We love to take advantage of you. Keep letting us. That's all I heard. Life offers the human being 2 choices: animal existence, a lower order of life, and spiritual existence. In general, a woman will choose the former and opt for physical well-being, a place to breed, and an opportunity to indulge unhindered in her breeding habits. Oh, women do love luxury, don't we? At birth, men and women have the same intellectual potential. There is no primary difference in intelligence between the sexes. I'm not sure about that. It is also a fact that potential left to stagnate will atrophy. Women do not use their mental capacity. They deliberately let it disintegrate. I actually think we have less to begin with compared to men as far as like math, science, those sorts of ways. We really don't think in the same way. She's making the case that it's societal. She might be right. What do you guys think? Leave a comment and let me know. After a few years of sporadic training, they revert to a state of irreversible mental torpor. Why do women not make use of their intellectual potential? For the simple reason that they do not need to. It is not essential for their survival. Theoretically, it is possible for a beautiful woman to have less intelligence than a chimpanzee and still be considered an acceptable member of society. Oh my gosh, that's so true. If you're a beautiful woman, but you are dumb as a box of rocks, it won't matter. It really won't. Women are born with value in our society. Men have to earn it. It is not right. Not right. It is not godly, not biblical. By the age of 12, at the latest, most women have decided to become prostitutes. Esther Vilar, what? By the age of 12, at the latest, most women have decided to become prostitutes. This woman was ahead of her time. She didn't know what Only Fools was going to be, but goodness me. Or to put it another way, they have planned a future for themselves which consists of choosing a man and letting him do all the work. In return for his support, they are prepared to let him make use of their lady bits at certain given intervals. The minute a woman has made this decision, she ceases to develop her mind. She may, of course, go on to obtain various degrees and diplomas. That's so funny. And they are in this day and age. This is so ahead of its time. This was published in 1971. Women were not in the workforce at all the way they are now. Most women did not work, let alone have all kinds of degrees and diplomas. This woman definitely saw the trajectory. These increase her market value in the eyes of men. For men believe that a woman who can recite things by heart must also know and understand them. Yes, but as we've learned of late, us women, those things actually don't increase our value in the eyes of men. Men don't care about degrees and diplomas and all that sort of thing. They really don't. They don't, Esther. I'm sorry. I don't think they ever did. I respectfully disagree. But any real possibility of communication between the sexes ceases at this point. Their paths are divided forever. One of man's worst mistakes, the one he makes over and over again, is to assume that woman is his equal. That is, a human being of equal mental and emotional capacity. A man may observe his wife, listen to her, judge her feelings by her reactions, but in all this, he is judging her only by outward symptoms, for he is using his own scale of values. He knows what he would say and think and do if he were in her shoes. When he looks at her depressing ways of doing things, oh, you guys, he assumes there must be something that prevents her from doing what he himself would have done in her position. Oh my gosh, I think that is what you guys see when you hear us talking about our day or something that happened. I think a lot of times you guys are like, this isn't really a problem. Like, it's pretty simple. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. This is natural, as he considers himself the measure of all things, and rightly so. I agree with that. If humans define themselves as beings capable of abstract thought. When a man sees a woman spending hours cooking, washing dishes, and cleaning, it never occurs to him that such jobs probably make her quite happy, since they are exactly at her mental level. That's true. You guys, the other day, I was folding clothes and hanging up clothes after I did my laundry. And I thought to myself, this is so peaceful. I don't have to make any decisions. It's monotonous. It's redundant. But at the end of the day, it's very relaxing. It's not stressful. I'm not having to make decisions. There's no pressure, right? It's like these clothes go here and these clothes go here. And I'm taking care of it and there's satisfaction. I was very satisfied in that. And I was thinking about women who complain about laundry and this, that, and the other. And usually it's because their time is pulled doing other things that are stressful. But if we were honest with ourselves, she's telling the truth. And also, remember that book, Women Are From Mars, Men Are From Venus, or Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, whatever? We didn't need that book. We need this book. But, the overlords don't want this truth coming out. That's why we're reading it. So hit that like button, you guys. Share the show with everybody you know, so everybody can hear Esther Vilar's wise, wise words. I'm a big fan of getting truth out. Okay, also big fan of, not a big fan of losing my spot, which you guys know, it happens a lot. I get excited. Instead, he assumes that this drudgery prevents her from doing all those things which he himself considers worthwhile and desirable. Is this true? Therefore, he invents automatic dishwashers, vacuum cleaners, and pre-cooked foods to make her life easier and to allow her to lead the dream life he himself longs for. Yeah, you guys, this was 1971, so not all kitchens had dishwashers, microwaves, men did make all those things, made our lives so much easier. Think about dryers. Washers and dryers. Women used to have to scrub the clothes against a washboard, hang the clothes out to dry. You complain about laundry. It's easy. We are so spoiled. We are so spoiled because men have, for lack of a better word, simped for us. They've just simped for us, and we have just taken. That's what we do. We take. But he will be disappointed, rarely using the time. But he will be disappointed, rarely using the time she has gained to take an active interest in history, politics, or astrophysics. Woman bakes cakes, irons underclothes, and makes ruffles and frills for blouses. Or, if she is especially enterprising, covers her bathroom with flower decals. She's going to decorate. She's going to do more, nesting type things. This is interesting to see if Esther Vilar is really against that, because I know she's not coming from like a biblical point of view. Yes, women are different than men, definitely different than men. And we shouldn't keep taking and expecting them to simp all the time, ever. But we are different. In astrophysics, not exactly where we shine. And I'm not sure you men really want to, that's not like, is that what you want? I know you want good conversation, and that's important. But yeah, that's interesting. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this. It is natural, therefore, that man assumes such things to be the essential ingredients of gracious living. This idea must have been instilled by women, as he himself really doesn't mind if his cakes are store-bought, his underpants unironed, or his bathroom devoid of flowery patterns. But what if she's doing it for him? Is that different? If her attitude is that I want to do these things for you, to make things nice for you, I would think that makes a difference. If she's just doing those things because it's for her and she likes it, I think that's very different than if she's like, I've made your favorite, lemon meringue pie. I know it's your favorite. I surprised you. I think I don't know. I think that's maybe different. He invents cake mixes to liberate her from drudgery, automatic irons, and toilet paper holders, already covered with flower patterns, to make gracious living easier to attain. And still women take no interest in serious literature, politics, or the conquest of the universe. For her, this newfound leisure comes just at the right moment. At last, she can take in herself. What? At last, she can take in herself. Since a longing after intellectual achievements is alien to her, she concentrates on her external appearance. Yeah, that's very superficial and shallow. We can be very shallow, superficial, and lazy. All humans have their faults and their tendencies that are bad, and I'm sure there are things about men that are, that they can do that are not the best. But I'm saying that as women go, we can fall into laziness and superficiality quite easily. Those are weaknesses, I would say, for us. Yet even this occupation is acceptable to men. He really loves his wife and wants her happiness more than anything in the world. Therefore, he produces non-smear lipstick, waterproof mascara, home permanents, like home perms, no iron frilly blouses, and throwaway underwear. Always with the same aim in view. In the end, he hopes that this being whose needs seem to him so much sensitive, whose needs seem to him so much sensitive, so much more refined, will gain freedom to achieve in her life the ideal state which is his dream, to live the life of a free man. Wow, he just serves and serves. Just serves and serves. So, as you listen to this chick, doesn't it sound like exactly what Esther Vilar's talking about, just in a modern age. Because, I mean, how much more can men invent for us? Heaven's sakes. They've made our lives so easy and so luxurious. But, you know, this lady's going to tell us how much more men can do, exactly what you should do, and why.
I feel like not a lot of guys realize this, but being a simp is probably one of the hottest things you can do as a man. Being a loving, devoted partner, taking her out to dinner, opening her door, getting her flowers. Once you do all that, she's gonna run to all of her friends and brag about you. And she tells all of her friends about you, they're gonna think of you as a hero and think, oh, wish I had a guy like that. That's what I want. To think of you as the ideal man. You're gonna seem really cool to them. And on the opposite spectrum, the anti-sip behaviors, the view of thinking, I'm not gonna call her back. I'm not gonna buy her flowers. She's never bought me flowers. Why do I need to get her flowers? That type of behavior. She's gonna go and tell her friends about it. And you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna be like, oh, I'm so sorry, babe. You're going to find the right one eventually. Not only that, when they see you, they're going to be like, ew, gross. He doesn't know how to treat a woman. This goes both ways. If you're a good girlfriend, good partner, your guy is going to run to his friends and brag about you. If you're a controlling, crazy, annoying partner, he's going to run to his friends and complain about you. Don't you?
What if you're demanding and manipulative? Like you are. These women, they don't think that they need to do anything. They just need to be, and just not yell or be controlling. Just not yell at him, and then you're done. You've done what you need to do. That's it.
You want to be the girl that all of his friends are like, whoa, you got a good one. Like the envy of everybody. That's how power couples are made. Only people who look down on simping are the same people who can't find a loving, devoted partner. So don't forget that simping is simply in. I feel like not a lot of guys realize this,
Okay.
but being a simp,
It's just her whininess is too much.
being a simp is probably one of
Go away.
the hot.
Go away, lady. Don't you? I bet you guys wish you had a button you could just click. And then, poof, the woman goes away. All right. It seems like the same thing to me. Women have always expected this type of behavior. That's why men simp. They do it because it works. And it's always worked. Now, it doesn't work for all men now because women have these extremely high standards. So, trust me, the high value men are still doing this kind of garbage. They might be doing it to manipulate the woman into, getting access to her lady bits, but trust me, they're doing it because women want to be served. They want that. It doesn't mean you should give it to them. Doesn't mean it's what's good for them. Drug addicts want heroin. That's not good. It's not the way it should be. Like, children want to eat candy for dinner and stay up all night and not go to school. It's not what's best for them. It was better when the men actually could be in charge, but we don't live there. Okay, where were we? There we go. Let's figure out where we were. I found it. Then he sits back and waits. Finally, as woman does not come to him of her own free will, he tries to tempt her into his world. He offers her co-education so that she is accustomed to his way of life from childhood. With all sorts of excuses, he gets her to attend his universities and initiates her into the mysteries of his own discoveries, hoping to awaken her interest in the wonders of life. He gives her access to the very last male strongholds, thereby relinquishing traditions sacred to him by encouraging her to make use of her right to vote in hope she will change the systems of government he has managed to think up so laboriously according to her own ideas. I mean, that hasn't gone well. It's really not gone well. YouTube doesn't like talking about that, but I don't think it went well to give us that ability. Possibly he even hopes that she will be able to create peace in the world. For in his opinion, women are a pacifist influence. Sugar and spice and all things nice. No, that's not true. We are not. We are quite volatile and reactionary. We are very emotional, led by our emotions. In all this, he is so determined and pig-headed that he fails to see what a fool he is making of himself, ridiculous by his own standards, not those of women who have absolutely no sense of humor. No, women do not laugh at men. At most, they get irritated. The old institutions of house and home are not yet so obviously outdated and derelict that they can't justify relinquishing all their intellectual pursuits and renouncing all their claims to better jobs. One does wonder, however, what will happen when housework is still further mechanized, when there are enough good nursery schools nearby, right? So someone else can raise the kids. See, Esther Vilar, she was very secular. So not realizing that, yeah, that's not the best thing to have nursery schools raise the children. Good Lord. That wasn't good either, Miss Vilar. No, it was not. Or when, as must occur before long, men discover that children themselves are not essential. Men don't generally think that way. It's the women who have decided that. That's what has happened. That's what has happened. Oh, has she ever made use of the mental processes he teaches at his universities to develop her own theories? Does she do independent research in the institutes he has thrown open to her? Someday it will dawn on man that woman does not read the wonderful books with which he has filled his libraries. And though she may well admire his marvelous works of art in museums, she herself will rarely create, only copy. I have a theory. Men are made in the image of God. They are. Are women. We're made from man. Don't know. Men by nature create and make art and all of those things. Women generally do not. And I find that very interesting. Very interesting. Even the plays and films, visual exhortations to woman on her own level to liberate herself, are judged only by their entertainment value. They will never be a first step to revolution. When a man, believing woman his equal, realizes the futility of her way of life, he naturally tends to think that it must be his fault, that he must be suppressing her. I know you guys were tricked by the overlords into thinking that, and it's not true at all. We've never been oppressed. We're not oppressed. We've been privileged, especially in Christendom. There is no religion that is elevated women to the level of Christianity. It just isn't. And I think that's a problem that a lot of men's rights activists have with it, is that it seems that women are privileged. But much is asked of us. That's the thing. And we need to be doing those things. When a man believing woman his equal realizes the futility, we already read that. But in our time, women are no longer subject to the will of men. Quite the contrary. They have been given every opportunity to win their independence. And if, after all this time, they have not liberated themselves and thrown off their shackles, we can only arrive at one conclusion: there are no shackles to throw off. Boom, Esther Vilar, right, correct. I didn't see that coming. She's right. She is right. There were never any shackles. There's nothing like, oh, we're not free. Yes, we always have been. We always have been. Goodness gracious. Which means men have never, in Christendom, oppressed us. Now, are there individual bad men? Of course. We're talking generalities here. Men seem incapable of realizing that women entirely lack ambition, desire for knowledge, and need to prove themselves. All things which to him are a matter of course. I think you guys are realizing it now. Now that we're out here in the world and we're working and doing, like, trying to live like men, it's like, oh, yeah, we're not the same. We are not the same. They allow men to live in a world apart because they do not want to join them. Why should they? The sort of independence men have means nothing to women because women don't feel dependent. They are not even embarrassed by the intellectual superiority of men because they have no ambition in that direction. Wow. There is one great advantage which women have over men. They have a choice. A choice between the life of a man and the life of a dim-witted parasite luxury item. Oh my God. Whew. There are too few women who would not select the latter. Men do not have this choice. No, men don't have much choice at all. At all. From the cradle to the grave, y'all, you don't have a lot of choice. If women really felt oppressed by men, they would have developed hate and fear for them, as the oppressed always do. But women do not fear men, much less hate them. Right? They say it, right? Women are always like, I hate men, da, 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 da. But they want them. They want, I gotta find a man. Where's a man? They want to be in a relationship, right? There's no WGTOW. They're the 4B movement. What a joke. They're not doing that. And all you guys knew that. They might be chasing after the same men, but they're still chasing after men. I remember being a girl, like 11 years old, 10, 11 years old. We started like, I want a boyfriend. I want a boyfriend. I want a boyfriend. And we honestly felt more valuable when we had one. So, yeah, we're not afraid of you guys. We're not. What a joke. What a joke. If they really felt humiliated by men's mental superiority, they would have used every means in their power to change the situation. If women really felt unfree, surely at such a favorable time in their history, they would have broken free of their oppressors. In Switzerland, one of the most highly developed countries of the world, where until recently women were not allowed to vote, in a certain canton, it is reported the majority of women were against introducing the vote for women. The Swiss men were shattered, for they saw in this unworthy attitude yet another proof of centuries of male oppression. Wow. Wow. Okay. Oh my goodness, bless you. Did you hear that? That was Lola sneezing. So cute. Anyway, hit that like button, would you? If you haven't already, I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. It's really exciting. We have over 35,000 subscribers now. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. It's really means a lot to me, and it's changing my life, actually. So I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Lola eats better food now. That's one of the things. Okay. On the contrary, one of the many depressing truths, the relationship between the sexes, is simply that man hardly exists in a woman's world, right? Man is not even powerful enough to revolt against. Woman's dependence on him is only material, of a physical nature, something like a tourist's dependence on an airline, a cafe's proprietor's on his espresso machine, a car's on gasoline, or a television set on electric current. Such dependencies hardly involve agonizing. Henrik Ibsen, who suffered from the same misapprehensions as other men, meant his doll's house to be a kind of manifesto for the freedom of women. The premiere in 1880 certainly shocked men, and they determined to fight harder to improve women's position. You guys, I know the overlords convinced you that we're so oppressed. And, simping is like enabling. Feminists could never have gotten where they got without simps enabling them. But the thing is that just the feminists were lied to, and especially, well, not the original ones. They know what they were doing. But the rest of us, coming down, we thought, oh, it's about equality, this, that, and the other. And it's not. That's a lie. But the men who fought to free women from the suppression were lied to because we were not oppressed. This is just a disruption of the natural order. This is a disruption of God's order. The roles. Excuse me, little miss. We're not doing that. Start pawing on things because she knows. Naughty. Oh, goodness gracious. For women themselves, however, the struggle for emancipation, as usual, took shape in a change of style. For a while, they delighted in their often laughed at masquerade as suffragettes. Later on, the philosophy of Jean-Paul Sartre made a similarly profound impression on women. As proof that they understood it completely, they let their hair grow down to their waists and wore black pullovers and trousers. Even the teachings of the Chinese communist leader Mao Zedong were a success. The Mao look lasted for a whole season. Well, that's disturbing. But I always say there's no communism without feminism, and vice versa. They go hand in hand. It's this whole idea that this class is oppressed and we have to flip it over, and it's all based on a lie. And the people who are lied to enable these oppressed women in this scenario to rise up and free themselves from their shackles are the useful idiots. They're being lied to too. Like, oh, this is the right thing to do, and it's not. But men thought they were doing a good thing by making women's lives easier, by empowering us to, go to universities and do all this. Even though we were free to do it, it was like, give us a push. Stop it, Lola. So, yeah, we're going to keep going in the manipulated man because it is just as relevant today as it was back then in 1971, as it probably was in 1900. These truths are eternal. It's the nature. It's human nature of both men and women. And doesn't change. Men are being taken advantage of. That is the long and short of it. Your nature, your good nature, is being taken advantage of by women. Like when Eve took the fruit from the serpent, offered it to Adam, knowing he would listen to her. And he did. And that was the end of that, right? Don't do the thing because it'll make the woman happy. Because it very well may not be the right thing for any of us. But took advantage of Adam and his love for her. And that's the thing. When you're simping like that, it's an act of submission. It's one thing to serve each other, but when the man starts going overboard and there's nothing in return, and he has no authority over her to go with it, it ends like this. This is how we're here. So thank you guys for going on this journey of simpology with me. I'm so excited to read what your comments are and what you guys think about all of this. I'm sure you have many stories, and I very much appreciate it. By the way, I am getting to emails as much as I can. I'm sort of working my way backwards, so I got behind, and sometimes a lot come in, and I'm so grateful for all of you. I really do appreciate you, and you do matter. I wish I had all the energy and all the time in the world to just write back to all of you constantly. But, we do what we can. So thank you guys. Remember to feed your souls. Please protect your peace. This world wants to take it from you. Don't let them. Don't let them. Do your thing. Go your own way. Go your own way. You don't belong to the overlords. You don't belong to women. You don't. I love you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Okay? Bye.